Namaskar and I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. This is lecture number 5 on magnetic properties of solids. First, let me mention some important points regarding paramagnetism. ठीक है? Number 1. Students, paramagnetism occurs in those atoms or ions or molecules which have permanent magnetic dipole moments. ठीक है? Paramagnetism occurs in those atoms, ions or molecules which have permanent magnetic dipole moments. That means for this type of atoms, ions or molecules, mu J value is not equal to 0. This will be possible only when either mu L not equal to 0 or mu S not equal to 0. ठीक है? Point number 2. In absence of any external magnetic field, all these magnetic dipoles will be randomly oriented. As a result, no net magnetization will be produced. ठीक है? In absence of external magnetic field, all these magnetic dipoles are randomly oriented and as a result no net magnetization is produced. ठीक है? That means if B equal to 0, then net magnetic dipole moment will be 0, or in other words, total magnetization of this material will be 0. However, if we apply some external magnetic field, then these atomic dipoles will try to orient along the field direction. As a result, some net magnetization will be produced. ठीक है? That means if B not equal to 0, then mu net is not equal to 0 or total magnetization will not be equal to 0. Now let me write this point. In presence of external magnetic field, these dipoles orient themselves along the field direction and as a result some net magnetization is produced along the field direction. ठीक है. Point number 4. Examples. Paramagnetism is observed in number 1. Atoms or molecules having odd number of electrons, or in other words, paramagnetism is observed in those atoms or molecules having unpaired electrons. ठीक है, or unpaired electrons. For example, free sodium atoms, lithium atom, chromium atom, aluminum atom. In other words, we can say that the atoms of group 1, 3, 5 and 7 of periodic table will show paramagnetism property. ठीक है, or gaseous nitric oxide. ठीक है. Number 2, free atoms or ions having partially filled inner shell. ठीक है, free atoms or ions having partially filled inner shell. For example, rare earth and actinide elements and ions of some transition elements. Ions of some transition elements like Mn2+, etc. In addition to this, most of the metals also show paramagnetism property. ठीक है, metals. Next, let me discuss some important points regarding paramagnetic materials. Number 1. A paramagnetic material always attracts the external magnetic field. It is because in external magnetic field, a paramagnetic material is magnetized along the field direction. ठीक है. Now, let me write this point. A paramagnetic material always attract the external magnetic field. It is because in external magnetic field, a paramagnetic material is magnetized along the field direction. ठीक है. Number 2. The relative permeability of paramagnetic materials is greater than 1. ठीक है. The relative permeability is greater than 1, that is mu r is greater than 1. Number 3, paramagnetic susceptibility is small, positive and dependent on temperature. The actual relation is given by C divided by T, where C is known as the Curie constant. Okay? And this relation is known as the Curie law. Okay? In my next section, I will derive this expression. So, if we plot a graph between paramagnetic susceptibility and temperature, we will get a curve like this. Okay? So, this is the susceptibility versus temperature curve for a paramagnetic material. Point number 4. Students, if we suspend a paramagnetic rod freely between two poles of a strong magnet, then this paramagnetic rod becomes parallel to the magnetic field. Okay? Now, let me write this point. A paramagnetic rod becomes parallel to the magnetic field. Okay? So, this will be south pole and this will be north pole of this paramagnetic rod. Next, point number 5. Again, if we place a paramagnetic solution in a U-shaped tube and one arm is placed in between two poles of a strong magnet, then level of solution in this arm will be increased. Okay? However, level of solution of this arm will be decreased. Okay? So, this is the paramagnetic solution. Now, let me write this point. When a paramagnetic solution is placed in a U-tube and if one arm is placed in between two poles of a strong magnet, then level of solution in that arm will be raised. Okay? This is all about today's video and I hope that you have learned a lot from this video.